Yeah.
Elosito. Bimbo. Hey.
It's your Pharisees. Yeah. Let me talk about my life, nigga. This is how I feel. I spent the last 5 years trying to figure out a hill. For real, I step between the balance, being rich or being killed. Yeah. For real, a nigga independent, don't care about a deal. Yeah.
Welcome to yet another episode of the Unselfish Behavior Podcast. That is the #1 podcast in all of Los Angeles right now for influencers, creatives, business minds, and all of those alike. We are here to inspire. We are here to empower. We are here to share our truths, highs, lows, and everything in between. And I take a lot of pride in associating myself with individuals that stand for something. That's right. I take a lot of pride in sitting next to individuals on my podcast and in real life that have boots on the ground and they're working towards a mission. Somebody with a sense of direction, somebody that I can learn from. And this brother right here is the epitome of every single thing I just said. Yeah, he's younger than me. That's okay. Yeah, he calls me a mentor. That's okay. But he's one of my mentors. Like, age does not make you a mentor. Experience and having the ability to teach others makes you a mentor. My biggest mentor in life, before I introduce, is my children. They're way younger than me. What's understood ain't got to be said. So without further ado, we have a very powerful empowerment speaker. You see how I did that? Everybody calling themselves motivational speakers. We have an empowerment speaker. This is one of those types of brothers that when he opens his mouth, you're not going to leave the same. This is one of them types of brothers that when he opens his mouth, you're going to start tapping into a version of yourself that you didn't even know existed. This brother is very, very, very powerful, and it is an honor of mine to be able to introduce him before his glow up happens, before his ship is sailing. I'm still seeing him in the building stages. And this brother right here, he's very, very powerful, born and raised in L.A. He's an L.A. native. He represents the West. He has a very powerful movement by the name of CLAPITUP, L.A. Without further ado, welcome my brother and your brother, JBrock. Let's make some noise for JBrock, y'all.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's get it.
How you feeling, brother?
Hey, man, I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling like a champion. You know.
Good.
You know, I'm feeling like the timing is right now. You know, it's a beautiful setup behind the scenes, man, that y'all can't see.
We try.
Yeah.
We try. We try.
Ain't no trying. Y'all doing it.
We try.
Come on
Thank
now.
you, brother.
Don't downplay that.
Thank you. Thank you. And as you hear me over here coughing, you know why.
Yeah.
It's because I'm smoking that good old Blue Moon Meds
Yes, sir.
pre-roll right now, which is our sponsor for all of season 2 and moving forward. Let's just go ahead and just make that known right now for the #1 podcast in LA. But we got to shout out this good herb that I'm smoking right now. These pre-rolls are very potent. It's just gas. Let's just call it gas and leave it at that. And you know, gas prices right now are what? Can we all say the word? Gas prices are. So that means King Q is. I'm high.
He's hot.
Because gas prices are high, and this is the most expensive gas that I'm aware of in regards to quality. So shout out to Blue Moon Meds. Make sure you follow Blue Moon Meds on Instagram at bluemoon.woods. Real quick, before we set the stage for our first topic, JBrock, I always do this to every single guest. Do me a favor for the individuals out there that follow our platform that may not know who you are. You should know who he is. But for those who don't know who he is, do me a favor real quick. Platform is yours. Tell the people a little bit about who you are, what you do, and what you stand for.
Okay, so
JBrock.
check this out.
Yep.
Straight like this. The brand is CLAPITUP LA. My name is JBrock. This all started from me wanting to be a motivational speaker or empowerment speaker, as he titled it. So basically, where CLAPITUP came from is I started just running up to the camera and clapping and delivering a message, and then when I would end my message, I would clap. My friends started to talk about it, like, yeah, clap, 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 right? My godbrother called me one night joking about it. Hey, I'm going to call you Clap-O-Berries. Little inside joke. When he did that, I went to sleep, and I said, you know what? Clap It Up should be my brand. So right then and there, CLAPITUP was born. I started shooting more videos. I started speaking to groups of people, kids, high school kids, college athletes, things like that. The brand begins to grow. I want to jump into more things. I started doing interviews. Once I started doing interviews, I started doing business advertisements, and honestly, there's no limit to what Clap It Up LA is going to be able to do in the near future. So that's me. Follow me at JBrock CIU, or you can follow the business page at Clap It Up LA. Please make sure you tune in to YouTube and subscribe at Clap It Up LA. We're doing vlogs, we hosting events, we doing all kinds of things. Just make sure you tapped in and catch on to the wave, straight like that.
Hey, listen, man. The way this man just said that had me over here looking like a proud father. Not trying to son you at all. Trust me, I'm not, because I learned so much from you, and you know, I'm just grateful to see the growth. I'm grateful to see where you started.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But tell me a little bit about how your journey started. Like, why motivational speaking? Yeah, you mentioned the fact that you came into this game and you wanted to tailor yourself around being a motivational speaker, but why that lane? When did that spark happen for you, and how did that start for you?
Okay, so I got to take it to the beginning, right?
Please.
I grew up playing football. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to all the Eastside demos out there. I grew up playing football, and football put me in a place that I never imagined that I could be mentally. Okay. And football made me feel safe about going to kill somebody. You know, I ain't necessarily killed nobody, but it was no. But when you got them pads on and it's you versus him, it's going to be him all day because I'm not going out. You feel me? So if you do my background check, you'll hear about the type of football player I was. So playing football, I was able to unleash this energy, right? So we get into the real world. College doesn't work out. Walk away from college. Now it's time for me to make money. I'm working these jobs. I really don't like listening to the people that I got to listen to. Yeah. I'm taking orders from these people, you know, because everything is about money, right? When you get money, you living good. When all actuality, money doesn't feel good if you're not doing it in your purpose. You know what I'm saying? So working these jobs, I realized that this isn't me. You know, this isn't something that I'm supposed to do. I felt that I wasn't supposed to work for nobody. So what happened was I started to search for this thing. I wake up with this energy. I get this feeling in my soul. It woke me up in the morning. I'm like, what is this? Like, why do I feel like I'm meant for more than to be truck driving or doing what I'm doing? Well, one day I get the heart, right? And I say to myself, I said, you know what? There was a situation at work. I was tired from work. I get back to the yard, right? Supervisor like, you got to go back out to do another stop. I am furious. In that moment, it was like God touched me and said, your only way out is for you to act on the things that you're thinking about. All the stuff. I wanted to do skits. I want to do this, that, and the third, right? So I started to act on that stuff.
You heard a voice. You heard a voice.
Exactly. It touched me, and I listened. So once I started to do that, I would see E.T., man. I saw somebody posted on their story, Eric Thomas, man, and I said to myself, you know what? I can do that too, right? So I get a haircut one day. I get in front of the camera. I'm feeling myself like, man, I look good, right? That is the day the motivational speaker was born. You know what I'm saying? I got in front of the camera. I shot a video. The reaction was great. And ever since then, I said, this is what I need to feel like. But the moment that it really hit me was the first time I got to speak in front of the Inner City Classic All-Star players. Shout out to Coach JG, Crenshaw High School, Jefferson High School. When he allowed me to speak, I was nervous, shaking like a stripper. But when he allowed me to speak, and when I was done, I'm telling you, I was shaking like a stripper. Understood. I'm telling you. I'm trying to tell you something, man. The thing about it is your purpose is going to make you nervous. You know what I'm saying? It's supposed to make you nervous. Your goals are supposed to make you nervous. If your goals don't make you nervous, then you're not moving big enough. You know what I'm saying? You got to move towards something that you may be afraid of, and that's okay. So the moment I got to speak, when I was done, the way I felt like I played in a football game. I felt like I just got 6 sacks.
That
and I'm
same
like, you know
fulfillment,
what?
that same satisfaction.
Feeling. And I said to myself, this is it. This is it. This is your purpose. And ever since then, man, it's been up from there.
Well, let me ask you this. Because I want to go even further, and I want to think about even another layer under the surface of how you started, which is a phenomenal story, and I love it. But why didn't football work out?
Well, for one, I was a very hard hitter. I was one of the hardest hitters on all my teams.
Tearing niggas up.
Tearing everything
Pause.
up. And anybody that want to fact check, you can fact check on everything I love.
Understood.
You know what I'm saying?
So ain't gotta be said.
Yeah, none at all. So and no cap in my rap, as they say. You feel me? Don't even try that. You know what I'm saying? So when so I got to Western Oregon. I went to Western Oregon. I was coming into myself. I'm disrupting plays. I'm starting to really come out. One day I decided to be a little extra out, right? And I had already suffered about 6 or 7 concussions. So one day I decided to be extra out in a walkthrough. All of this D-line, D tackle twist. Coach called a play, boom, we do it. I go up against the offensive guard, hit him, boom, and I bang my head up against him instantly. Boom, pain. I'm like,
pain where? Pain where?
Pain right here, right up here.
Right
here. I got a headache, and it just didn't go. It felt like my skull cracked. So when that happened, I thought to myself, I said, man, I don't want to turn this in. I want to just play through it. And then I talked to my teammate. I was like, man, I'm kind of in pain. I was like, should I say something? He was like, yeah. So after that, in the midst of this is the whole concussion thing going on in the NFL. They finding out all this crazy stuff, right?
Talk about timing, right?
Man, so I get to doing my research, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I done went through this about 8 times. Let me go ahead on and let me walk away from this before I can't have a family and function correctly. And so at that point, I decided to walk away from the game, and it was jumping into the real world from there, bro.
That shit wild.
Yeah.
It's funny because I was telling, I think I was telling you actually earlier. Yes, I was telling you about how my 9th grade year, the football coach at LA High, which is where I went to, home of the Romans, they suck. They suck, though. I can't say that with pride. I'm sorry, my Romans. But I went to LA High, and my first day of 9th grade, the football coach comes up to me, and he's like, you're going to play for me this season.
Yeah.
What grade are you in? He knew I was young, but I was always big and stocky.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I'm in 9th grade. It's my first day. And he says, you going to play for me this season. Come to practice today after school. I did not go to practice that day after school. Where did I go? Looking for the honeys.
Yeah.
That was young Q.
Yeah.
At 15, 16, that's all I gave a fuck about.
Mm-hmm.
And gang culture, you know, being born and raised in L.A. and being born and raised in certain environments and, you know, things of that nature. I glamorized that type of stuff, which a lot of us did, you know, growing up in L.A. But, you know, my high school years, fortunately and unfortunately, went on, and I never played football. Mm. And I say unfortunately because it's one of my biggest curiosities of my life.
Yeah.
Where would I be right now if I would have actually played football?
Mm-hmm.
I know I could have been good. I know I've always had size and speed, but I never touched the field. Not one time in my life, bro. Mm-hmm. And my mom was a big influence in that because she was like, you're not playing football. Like, she erased it from being an option. I grew up a big, like, bro, as long as I can remember being alive, I was born in 1991. Yeah. As long as I can remember being alive, which is like maybe 6 years old, 7 years old, is my earliest memory, I was always a Kobe and Shaq fan. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean to the point to where it was like, that's all I gave a fuck about was Kobe Bryant and Shaq. Fuck the Lakers. I loved Kobe Bryant and Shaq. Mm-hmm. Like, posters all in my room growing up. You know what I'm saying? And just really into that. But I say that to say, like, when I was growing up, bro, there was no motivational individuals in my neighborhood. The only people we glamorized was attached to a dream that seemed unrealistic. Can I say that again? Mm-hmm. Because for us, a lot of brown and a lot of black and brown individuals out here can relate to this. We didn't grow up with heroes outside of drug dealers and sports players and or entertainers. Mm-hmm. And I think about that a lot, not only when I speak to people, but when I'm by myself. And I'm like, damn, look what we're doing right now. We did not have an example for this. It wasn't like it was nobody in the hood growing up that was doing a fucking podcast. Facts. The biggest voice in L.A. for anybody who knows, and I would say the early 2000s, was Big Boy in the fucking morning. Mm-hmm. Right? Like, back then, I think it was 100.3 The Beat. Excuse me, if my memory serves me correct.
Definitely.
I remember when Big Boy was on 100.3 The Beat.
Yeah.
You know, and he was the biggest voice, but he never inspired me to talk. No disrespect to Big Boy, because he will be on my show one day by the grace of God, inshallah. But for me, I have to focus on like the journey, right? The first person that ever sparked my interest, and I say all of this because you just shared your story and how you got inspired to speak. I got inspired to speak when I fell in love with Def Comedy Jam. My dad, shout out my pops, he was a fanatic for Def Comedy Jam when I was a kid. All he did was watch stand-up comedy all day. And people like Martin Lawrence, who was like the king of hosting in the 90s. Like we know Martin for his fucking sitcom, but Martin Lawrence, Google this shit, YouTube it. Martin Lawrence was the absolute best motherfucking stage host you've ever seen in your life. He was an orchestrator of energy. That was the first person when I was a kid that I saw and said, that looks interesting. I didn't look at it and say, I want to do that. I said, wow, I was just wowed by it. I was just amazed by it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think that was the seed that was planted. And then for me, my journey started, because I have to share my journey as well. But my journey of who I am right now in this day, in this moment, it started in 2016 for me. When I went through my second breakup with my then fiance. And she broke up with me a month before our wedding and told me she was still in love with her ex. That type of pain after you've been planning an engagement for a year is indescribable and embarrassing. When I have my family flying out from Louisiana, when I have my mom super excited and in love with the girl, when I have all of my groomsmen's suits already purchased, when I have a fucking deposit on the venue and the photographers paid for, and I mean, you name it. We was ready to rock and roll a month, and we was going to be married. I thank God for that moment now. Because in that pain revealed who I was. That's when my journey started. That's when I broke away from the societal norms. That's when God started pulling me towards motivational individuals. The first speaker I ever seen do a motivational speech in my life was in November of 2016 in front of my job before I clocked in at T-Mobile in motherfucking Baldwin Hills, right there on La Brea and what we used to call Rodeo, which is now Obama Boulevard, right next to CJ's Cafe. That's where I was at. I was in that fucking parking lot right there. And I typed in motivational speakers on YouTube. And the first person that showed up was Jim Rohn, an old white man. I clicked on it and he captivated my mind immediately within like a minute or two. I watched the whole video. I was late to work. I would have felt guilty if I didn't finish it. It was like 38 minutes or some shit like that. I watched it, and ever since that moment, I was in tune with like motivational people. And in 2017, I'm sorry, at the latter part of 2016, actually, if I stand corrected, was the first time I stepped foot inside of a personal development seminar by the name of Insight Seminars. This is all within a few months of me just getting my heart shattered. God started calling me like, I need you for something. I need you for something. That's what it felt like without me actually hearing that voice. And I just felt myself saying yes out of curiosity. Do you see how the journey of self-discovery happens sometime when we're even oblivious?
Facts.
When we don't even know God is calling us somewhere else. That's why you just went through a divorce. He's calling you somewhere else. Say yes to it. You just caught your partner cheating. Your heart is shattered. He's calling you somewhere else. Listen to it. When your manager's an asshole and all you can do is complain about your life, and that one day after being late 10, 15 minutes, you actually got fired and you're destroyed. God's calling you somewhere. Listen to it. It's in our pain that our purpose is discovered. That's what that taught me. And I just started to say, yes, I went to a personal development seminar, changed my life. My first time ever been in a room full of white people. in my entire existence up to that point. I was 25, 26 maybe. And I just started to, I fell in love with what was different. I started to feel through me saying yes, even through the discomfort, I started to feel my heart like I'm being led to something bigger. And now I'm in this moment right now sitting next to JBrock.
Facts.
That's the reflection of this moment.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I say all of that.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that? And what has that process been like for you? Because you've clearly been through something.
Mm-hmm. Well, like you said, God is calling you to something, you know, and I feel like a lot of people, like when you figure out like God is calling you, like when people say God is calling you, it's kind of like this thing that kind of scares you. When it's like God is only calling you to do what you really here to do. And honestly, God is calling you to do what really makes you happy.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
Nobody knows how to make you happy like God can make you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like God created you.
Yeah.
So without that, when you're not in alignment with your purpose, then you struggling and you find yourself unhappy. You finding yourself trying to do things to impress other people. You know what I'm saying? When in all actuality, you need to impress yourself first. That's where true happiness and success begins. Yeah. So when you speak on finding yourself in your lessons, you know, something that people consider losses, a lot of people are afraid to even admit that they lose or that they fail. You know what I'm saying? Or the fact that they made a mistake. A lot of us, we just too cool to make a mistake. We too cool to stumble. But in all actuality, in the midst of that mistake, you find a lot of the answers to your problems is in exactly what he was saying. And sometimes you truly have to fail. You have to fail and fall into your blessing. But you can't get that blessing until you really fail and lose. And in that moment, you discover your blessing, because sometimes your back is up against your back is against the wall so bad. It's terrible. Your back is up against. You can only move in a direction that God is telling you to move in, and it happens like that for people. That's okay.
You've learned.
Oh, you believe so?
Yeah, I know so. You've learned through your experience.
Yeah, for sure.
On the importance of spreading your energy in multiple places in a room.
Yeah.
I'm looking at you talk, and for those of you who have not followed this man's journey, I don't know if you remember this, bro, but I've interviewed you before on Unselfish Behavior podcast, sure. And the episode never aired.
Yeah.
It wasn't ready.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Your episode was the last episode I made. You were the 45th episode before I broke away from my business partner. You were the last episode that we posted, and he decided not to post my last episode. Yeah. At the time, I was hurt because of that. Yeah. Why wouldn't you want to? Now that I sit with you now, I realize why that happened.
Ain't that something?
You see, do y'all see, like, like, it wasn't my timing. It's the divine's timing. Mm-hmm. You can call God whatever you want. Ashe. But we all know it's something that's leading us and guiding us down here. Facts. And when we start to stop to really, really recognize that, we'll see how blessed we truly are. Mm-hmm. We'll see how abundant we truly are. We would actually finally, for all of us out here, see how rich we really are. Facts. You are already rich. Like, I don't care who's watching this right now. This applies to everybody who hears this that is a human being. Your current life that you are living right now, there is a human being in some part of this planet that's praying for your life. Mm-hmm. You can complain about being a this, being black, being an immigrant, being gay, being this, being Christian, being unfortunate, being a minority, being a woman, being a man, you can blame it on whatever you want, but I guarantee you there's at least one human being that's praying for your life. Think about this. A lot of us complain and we still breathing. How many people right now in this second in Los Angeles alone, fuck California, as Los Angeles as a whole, how many people right now are in the hospital on breathing machines? Man. How many people are in the hospital right now and their only prayer is, God, I wish I could breathe normally again. God, if you get me out of this situation, I will always say thank you for my breath. We take breath for advantage more than we do anything.
Man, facts.
When's the last time you intentionally just thank you, God? Wow, I could breathe. When is the last time we've done that? That's not to bash nobody. It's just for awareness.
Yeah, I ain't never.
So for me, it's like I'm grateful for every single piece of this journey because I'm aware of where I came from and I'm aware of where God has taken me. Ashe. So with that being said, I want to talk a little bit more about God on a deeper level. Can we do that?
Yeah, for sure.
But we can't do that without sparking the blunt because, when we go to new depths, you got to make sure you got your motherfucking swimsuit on.
He's crazy.
You got to make sure you got your motherfucking fins on your feet.
Took that thing down.
You got to make sure you got your motherfucking oxygen tank on your back.
Yes, Sirski.
Because we're going to the deep. Yeah. How you feeling, JBrock?
Oh, man, I'm feeling good, bro. Great vibes.
It's a good vibe here?
Awesome.
You never been on a podcast like this before, have you?
Well, this is the only time I'm
Hello, excuse me.
You know what I'm saying? But,
That's
we
love.
growing,
I didn't know that.
We growing.
I didn't know that.
And it's many more coming.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
You're gonna be nationally syndicated as a speaker one day.
Yes, sir.
I speak that into existence for you.
Yes, sir.
You're gonna be the highest paid motivational speaker on the planet one day.
Yes, sir. This thing ain't hitting.
And you know what's beautiful about that?
Yeah, I think
We'll be able to look back on this journey
Yeah.
in this footage and be like, damn, nigga, we really spoke that shit.
Yeah.
You should be good. While you're hitting it. There you go. You in the game, my nigga.
There goes some light.
You see, JBrock don't smoke like that, y'all. So that's why we gotta help the brother out.
Yeah, when I came here, Q told me this ain't my house and this ain't my rules. You feel what I'm saying? So
Yeah, that's a fact. So let's talk about God. What is God to you? Who is God to you?
who is God?
Yeah. And I want you to understand what platform you on because we don't ever ask questions here to judge. I'm genuinely interested in the human mind and how other people think, other perspectives. So just know this is a very safe space, not only for you, but for all of my viewers and listeners as well. This is a very, very safe and sacred space to where we can discuss our perspectives. But yeah, who is God to you? What is God to you?
Man, God is the King of Kings. You know, the Lord of Lords. There's nothing above who God is.
Yeah.
I came up in a Christian household. You know, rest in peace to my grandmother. You know, shout out my grandpa.
Yeah.
That's all I know, man. I remember going to church. My grandma was one of those people who would shout for real, like not shout for play.
Like you see in the movies.
Oh, she would shout for real.
Understood.
I mean,
Respect to grandma.
she could be sitting in the middle of the row.
Come on.
When that music come on and they get to playing that fast praise music.
That thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
she all up and down she all up and down the
Shout out
alleyway.
to grandma.
My grandma didn't play. There was one time I was a little kid. I remember my grandma holding my hand for what felt like about an hour, and she just prayed and prayed and prayed, and I didn't know whether to take my hand away from her or not.
Wow.
But it felt like forever. My grandma, they had a big house in Lancaster. My grandma would be in this big old house, 2, 3 in the morning, no lights. And all you would hear is her speaking in tongues, praying.
What does that sound like?
Really,
What it means? I never heard someone speak in
I
tongues
don't want to
before.
mock that.
Well,
But
not mock it, but describe what it sounds like. Don't do it, but like, what would you equate that to? Because I've heard that, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about my background and how I was, but I never seen that in my life. I don't know what that sounds like. What is it? What does it sound like?
I'm 6, 7 years old. I walk out the room, you know what I'm saying? It was upstairs, downstairs, but it was like an open situation where you can see downstairs. It just sound like somebody drumming with their mouth, bro. And like I said, I ain't gonna mock it, but you know what I'm saying.
That sound like a drum. That's the best drum I got.
Whatever it was, I felt the spirit
energy
of what she did, and I could never forget about my grandma. She was a very powerful person, and anybody that knew her basically would make sure that you understood she was a powerful person. You know
she's still here, right?
Yeah, for sure. My grandma was probably like one of the first people to make me feel like I was handsome. My grandma would see me and say, my grandma would see me and basically tell me about how fine that I was.
Go ahead.
And nobody ever made me feel like the way that she did.
Like grandma.
I had self-esteem issues. I was very insecure growing up and things like that.
So was I.
And I never forget one day I was in college. My grandma was like, "Boy, you look so good. Boy, you so fine." Man, I walked up in the bathroom, right, and I was thinking to myself, like, "Dang, maybe I really do look
That
good."
nigga looking at himself different.
Man, I had to look at myself when she was talking, and then I went back on into my old little mindset and was like, "Oh, that's just to her." You know what I'm saying? So I struggle with that. Yeah. But God is someone, man. Jesus Christ. You know what I'm saying? God is. I call on God all the time. I pray to God all the time.
Respect.
I feel like God is everywhere. You know what I'm saying? He's not in just one place.
Same.
God is everywhere. You know what I'm saying? And you should never be afraid to call on God. You feel me? I feel like a lot of people sometimes may be afraid to admit that, they pray. Man, I pray all the time. I pray if I'm in a situation where I feel like I'm unsafe, I'll pray right there. Because, at the end of the day, God is going to save us. You know what I'm saying? I pray, man, like I said, I pray every day, bro. I wake up and pray every day. I pray before I go to bed every day.
Nice.
And, I just want God to use me as a vessel, and I just, man, ask God, please allow me to live through what I feel like I should live through, you know, because God ultimately led me here. I remember one time being real, feeling real anxious and feeling like nervous and just stressed.
Right.
Prayed to God, man, and I tell you, I haven't felt like that since.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
I haven't
powerful.
felt like that since, bro. I literally prayed, and I said, God, please, like, if everything is okay, please just take this away, because I was feeling real crazy.
What would you say to somebody who asks you and they say, do you think that we are the only ones that God created? Well, outside of obviously animals and insects, do you think that planet Earth is the only civilization that God has ever created?
I don't think so.
And talk about that then.
I mean, we live in this big old galaxy. We live in this big galaxy, and you can't even travel to the ends of the galaxy, So I do think that there's more, life outside of this Earth. I definitely believe that. It's too big of a galaxy. It's too big of a galaxy. What we live on is what we understand. You know what I'm saying? All we know is this world. You feel me? But like I said, when you think about the size of the galaxy, man, it got to be something else out there, bro.
Yeah, I mean, you think about it, right? We only know what we were taught.
Facts. That's it.
That's all we know.
That's it.
We don't know shit.
Mm-hmm.
We only know what somebody told us
Mm-hmm.
in a book or in school
Mm-hmm.
or a parent or whatever. So a lot of times I find myself thinking like, what am I? Like, what the fuck? Like, I'm like, if you zoom out of me for an hour, how high in the sky would you be?
Yeah, you told me.
And how small would I look?
Yeah.
How insignificant would I look? And then you keep zooming out, and all you see is a planet. And then eventually the planet that while you were zooming out looked big, now that looks tiny as fuck. And then you keep zooming out, and you see other planets, and they become tiny. And then the next one becomes tiny. And then the whole galaxy becomes tiny.
Right.
What the fuck am I? This walking around like fucking talking thing. Right? Like, so who am I to like judge somebody how they want to live? It's not my place. I don't even know what I am. Erykah Badu say in her song, she said, a wise man knows that he knows nothing at all. A wise man knows that he knows nothing. That's the definition of a true wise man. I have no place to tell people how to live. It's not my place. But what is my place is to tell myself how to live. And the only thing that we control in this life is us, and that's even to a certain extent.
That's a fact.
Excuse me, because sometimes we may want to go down a road that God may bring us down a different road in order to fulfill the same mission, just to see if we're going to question it. How many people has that happened to where God is like you thought you was about to go over it. You thought that was your future. No. That's still your future, but that's the wrong route.
That happens.
That don't make the destination bad. I think about relationships when I talk like that. And it's like, how many people out here sabotaging good people because they got hurt in the past? You still holding on to that route as the only route to your destination. And the only 3 niggas that you've ever dated in your life, or the only 3 women that you've only ever dated in your life, fucked you over. So now the 4th nigga that you date, guess what you're going to do to him instinctively? Fuck him over.
Yeah.
And then you're going to blame niggas as the problem for your choices. It's women out here that choose great guys all the time. It's men out here that choose great women all the time.
Facts.
The fuck the problem with you? You can't complain about something you picked. That's like going to the grocery store, picking some cabbage up, going home, cooking it, and taking it back to the store and saying, this nasty, I want to return. Motherfucker, you cooked it.
Right.
You prepped it. You seasoned it. You marinated that. So when I think about couples these days, I think about like this traditionalism shit that's like, oh, if you're not acting like my daddy or acting like my grandfather or acting like my mom or acting like my grandmother, then you're not a good woman or you're not a good man.
Yeah.
You holding me to an old playbook. It's a new age, baby. It's 2022. Excuse me. This is not 1950 motherfucking 2. This is 2022. What, we supposed to just recycle the same information just because it worked for a certain generation? The society is different.
Facts.
Shit has changed since then. So why are we not allowed to think for ourselves? Why do you think that we're so critical in this society? Once someone has a different opinion, we call them crazy.
Well,
why do you think that is?
For one, the society is sensitive over everything. You know, it like, I don't mean to cross no lines. So I don't mean no disrespect to nobody, but you know, a lot of the things that I was raised on is probably not okay. You know what I'm saying? My step-pops made me tough. You know what I'm saying? He didn't like be soft on me. He didn't, you know, he was a father to me. My stepfather was every bit of a father to me, but at the same time, he made sure that when I walked out in the world, I would be prepared for what the world really is. Because you got to understand, the world is not a fair or easy place. People will run you over and keep driving to get away.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact. That's a hit and run.
Not everybody gonna get out the car and make sure that you're good.
That's a hit and run.
This world, people want to make sure that they are good.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? So if they got to get rid of you in any type of way, that's what they gonna do. That's what the world is, whether you like it or not. So one of my things about raising my son is, you know, my son will fall, bump his head, and I won't be in a rush to pick him up.
As you should.
I say get up. Because when you fall in this world and
Ain't
nobody
running
else
over
is
there.
there, nobody else
Ain't
is
nobody
there to
running
help
over
you,
there.
and nobody else is there to help you.
What they gonna do? They gonna take their phones out.
Facts.
They gonna
They
laugh
take
at you.
their phones out, or they gonna sit up and laugh at you,
Yeah.
and be and clown you about the fact that you didn't get up. You got to get up in this world all on your own sometimes.
I heard that.
That's just what it is.
Yeah.
So if I'm gonna sit up and pamper and be this gentle person every time my son falls, every time my son hurts himself, like, bro, you got to understand that you have to develop that strength to understand it's me, and I better get up and I better fix my own situation.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think that's cultural or do you think that is societal? What do I mean by that? I mean, like, do you think that you think that way because you're a black man and that's how black families traditionally are raised to grow up? Or do you think that's a human thing to where it don't matter the race? Everybody can relate to not running over to your child when they get hurt.
I think that based off observation.
Okay, talk to me.
You know what I'm saying? That's observation. How many times have I slipped and fell? And we're not talking about like really literally falling, but like how many times have I slipped and fell in life, and how many people was there to comfort me?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, does the white dude by the name of Timothy who lives in Beverly Hills, who was born and raised in Calabasas, does he have that same story, that nobody was there to pick him up when he fell? Or did he have support when he fell? Do you see where I'm going?
Yeah. And
I want to know, is it a cultural perspective? And we're just here to unpack. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to figure it out. What do you think?
I can't say it's a cultural perspective.
So it's a human perspective. Every human can relate to it.
Yeah, because I mean, when you think about it, we do based off of what we've been through, our own observations, our own experience. You feel me? Like I've seen a child who somebody was always there for him when he fell, or
Pampered,
there for her when she fell.
Facts.
And they didn't necessarily develop the independent, like the strength to when they fall to just get back up and understand it's cool.
This part of life.
Yeah, it's just
speed
part
bumps
of
in
life.
life.
You know what I'm saying? And even in this realm that we are in, bro, we gotta. It's on you at some point. It's all about you and your decision making. You know what I'm saying? So if you run into a brick wall right here and it don't work out and you just walk away from it, you got to understand you losing everything you worked for, or you're going to run into that brick wall, understand I can't make it yet. I'm going to take another way, but I'm going to come back to this. That's what life is all about.
That's what it's all fucking about, brother. That's what it's all about to me, you know? Hey, can I just say something?
What you got to say, bro?
I'm feeling pretty fucking phenomenal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm feeling like, damn. I remember when I was homeless, you know. I remember that shit like it was yesterday morning, bro. Thank God for that.
Man.
I remember those shit. Man, I remember those nights, bro, where I was like in the park at Queen Anne Park, bro, on the bleachers by myself with my fucking luggage bag and my two big long-ass jackets on. And looking at the stars and talking to the moon and talking to God and like, I know I'm not going to be here forever. I know you got a plan for me. I don't know who I am, but I know I'm becoming something. Like, I know I'm not out here alone. I remember those nights, bro.
Man, I salute you for that.
And like, I sit here without having 1 million followers, who gives a fuck? And like, see this version of who I am.
Beautiful.
I didn't even see this version in 2018, in 2017. I knew I was being, like I said, I knew I was being called. I didn't know to what. I didn't know where he was taking me. Beautiful. I didn't know I had this type of voice, bro. I'm going to be honest with y'all. If you would have met me in 2015, 2016, I didn't talk like this, bro. Yeah. With this much confidence and vigor and pride. I didn't always have good eye contact. I was very shy and introverted growing up. I was not a people person. I was very, 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 very shy. Yeah. That is very hard for people to believe who meet me now. But I choose to just say yes to the calling, because God will literally sculpt you and mold you. He's crafting something. He's the master of crafting. He's the master artist. He, she, whatever you believe in, with all due respect. The concept stands clear. Somebody created the trees.
Facts.
Somebody created that ocean. Something or somebody answers a prayer after you say amen. Obviously, like it's God. Like, so Ashe to that fact. And, you know, for me, I don't know about you, but I look at a lot of what we call them influencers and entertainers today that may be in a position to lead others, and they either A, take advantage of it and create a legacy, or B, they don't, and we don't speak about them after a few weeks on Instagram. But I think about death, and I think about how many people, you know, Les Brown has a great quote. He says, you guys have probably heard Les Brown's quote about death and how he shared this story about an individual being on their deathbed, and around the person that's on the deathbed, all he sees around them are all of his ideas and his thoughts that never manifested. And they're standing over him, crying to him, saying, why didn't you bring us to life? Why didn't you act on us? Why didn't you trust us? Why didn't you? Now we must die and perish forever with you. That shit gives me chills.
Facts.
That is the reason why I can never in my life settle for anything outside of that little voice inside of me that's calling me to something, to create something, to say yes to something, to collaborate with somebody, to say yes to an opportunity that may not have the finances in place yet, but I'm saying yes to it because God knows in a year and a half, and 5 years, and 10 years, that investment is going to pay off. Do you see that?
Yeah, no, that's a fact.
So for me, I'm super ultra aware of that about life. Like everything, every second, everything I'm saying right now was already written. It's hard for us to fathom that. Life is destined. We are destined to be great. Or we would never say that. We would not have been programmed to say those words if it wasn't supposed to manifest. I will be great one day. I will be a multi-billionaire one day. I'm going to have a lot of influence over the world one day. You ever met someone who can't utter those words? You ever met a person that can't say I'm beautiful to themselves? I have.
I mean, I was once like that.
Hello?
Yeah.
Everybody don't know how to even verbally say I love you. Everybody can't look at another human being in their eyes, bro. Go around the streets of LA right now, whatever city you in, and tomorrow, if you're anywhere in America, go around and just greet random people. And just say, hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? Me and JD did that shit before in Vegas. We did it in Vegas, bro. We went to Vegas in like 2018, somewhere around there, to go perform. And we went out there. We wanted to just experience what street performing felt like. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm a spoken word artist and poet.
The truth.
So I went out there. I try to be my brother. Thank you. But we went to Vegas to go do some performances, and we're on the fucking side of the boardwalk, on the strip. There you go. We on the strip, and we got me, him, Elena Love, and my boy Alaz. At that time, Allah's Apprentice. I actually inspired Allah's name to be Alaz because I was calling him that the whole Vegas trip. Yes, sir. Shit, that's my brother though. But yeah, my boy Alaz, at the time, Allah's Apprentice. And so we on the fucking boardwalk, on the strip, and people just walking by. You know how it is. It's hella people back and forth. And we're just like, yo, everyone is treating us like we not right here. Literally. Like we out here asking these niggas for something. We just want to perform. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, I don't know who idea it was, but we just start greeting everybody who walked by. Man. And you should see people's responses. Yeah. It blew my mind. It made me feel like I was in like an episode of Twilight Zone. We are literally in the fucking Matrix. People are programmed to wake up every day at 7 o'clock, be to work by 9 o'clock, go clock in 8 hours, get off work, wake up, do it all over again. And take pride in that. And to say, well, how dare you leave that job? I worked at that job and I got benefits and I got a 401k and I got a retirement. You should stay there for the rest of your life like me. And if you don't, you're a failure. How foolish does that sound? How insane does that fucking sound? That is the majority of people out here telling everybody that they're wrong when they don't even have the right map. How you telling me where I'm going is wrong and you showing me the map you got? That's not even the map. That's taking me to South Africa. That's the map for Asia. What are you talking about? So that's why platforms like this are very important, because we need to step away from judging people and feeling like we entitled and we inferior and we have the answers. We have the right map. We have the right map. We all read the same book. How so many maps come out the same book? Why is there so many branches of Christianity? And all y'all believe in the Bible? How is that even possible? Why is it This church is called, and this ain't no knock to nobody. This is just truth. Why this church called St. Mary's Church? Why this one called Church of Jesus Christ? This one called da-da-da-da. This one called da-da-da-da. Why they ain't all just called the same thing? Let's just start there. Why y'all got different hoods and branches and people that y'all mess with, and this is an Asian-only church, and this is a black-only church, and this is who made that? God didn't make that. Or he wouldn't have made so many different shades. So who made it? One of you imperfect humans somewhere down the line of history. We ain't here to point fingers. This for everybody. This is why I encourage everybody to do what works for them. I'm in no position to judge you. I'm just going to observe what I see. Yeah. I can walk past a painting and observe my truth. That does not make it the truth. Let's just narrow that down. We could all look at the same exact painting and say, that shit is demonic. The next person, oh my God, this is so beautiful. The next person, oh, it's kind of making me inspired and think. Oh, the next person, oh, this makes me sad. Or the next person, do you see where I'm going? Yeah. That's life.
And I got to say, like, one of the things, I'm not big on telling people what they can't do.
Me neither. It's bothers me. Now, your brother need a shot. Yeah. Because we talking some heavy shit.
Yeah, facts. But
you about to break it down. Break it down for me. Thank you.
I'm not big on telling people what they can't do. Now, shout out to everybody who can. You know what I'm saying? Y'all do that. You feel me? But I don't tell people what they can't do because I am not God and I don't know. I'm not God. I don't know. Yeah. Because the Bible says I can do anything through Christ who strengthens me, right?
Speak on that. So
who am I, you know what I'm saying, an imperfect human to tell you, oh, that's not going to work. You can't do that.
There we go.
You feel me? Now, I can hit you with some, well, you probably should do this. I mean, the most I'm going to tell you is, hey, if you want it, you can have it, go for it. If it don't work out, then you'll find the next thing that wasn't meant for you.
Right.
Somebody told me I couldn't make it. You know what I'm saying? Somebody told me that I couldn't make it.
I've been there too.
They told me you won't make it. It's not going to work for you because you don't understand this and you don't know that and you don't do this. I said, you're not God.
That's it.
I said, you don't know who I'm going to come across and who I'm going to meet. You still not going to make it.
And God the only one with the right map.
Facts.
Can we talk about that?
Look where we at now.
Excuse me.
Come on now. Look where we at now.
We are the manifestation of somebody's map.
Yeah.
Look at that.
That's a fact.
If you live in a country, you at war because somebody in your leadership said you should be at war right now. That's not in your map, but that's in your leader's map. Yeah. We live in America. Yeah. Everything we complain about is from the decisions of somebody else. Mm-hmm. Everything you could possibly ever complain about as an American or anybody else.
That's the truth.
You're going to complain about some shit somebody else made. Yeah. So I just be sitting here like, hey, I don't really give a fuck about what nobody got going on, bruh. Mm-hmm. I'm going to do what I'm led to do, and I'm going to die feeling like, okay, I did what I felt led to do.
That's right.
Well, am I in heaven? I don't know. Am I in hell? I don't know. Am I resurrected in a fucking butterfly? I don't fucking know. I don't have the answers. Who am I to say I have the answers? I don't know what happens after you die. I don't know. Right. I never died and came back. Nigga, I don't know. Yeah. Who the fuck died, came back, and said this how it looked? Yeah. Who the hell went to hell, got out of hell, came back to L.A. and said, nigga, this hell? Who the fuck been there? And that's not to say it's false. Yeah. It's not to say it's false. Yeah. It's just to say have a broader and opener perspective when another individual with a different perspective is trying to explain their version of the map.
And I was going to say that sense? Because you've had some people, I remember my mom had these tapes where they used to call them To Hell and Back. And I was like, man, you know what?
Niggas wildin', man. Hey, can we stop fucking playing with it?
No, I'm just
Niggas
like,
is wildin'.
I'm like, man, I kind of don't believe it. You know what I'm saying?
To hell and back.
I kind of don't believe it.
A nigga done been and came back?
To hell and back, yeah.
Stop playing with it.
Basically, these people passed away and they tell you their stories and stuff like that. And they went to hell and then they came back. You know, things like that. That's what the tape was about. And I'm sure you can YouTube it too. You can YouTube that. You can definitely YouTube that. You don't believe you can YouTube that?
I do believe
you can YouTube that. You can YouTube that, and you're gonna have somebody.
But I don't think a nigga
tell. Hey, look, check this out. At the end of the day, I don't concern myself too much about it. You know what I'm saying? I just kind of leave it as it is, and I, whatever the case.
JBrock said I ain't getting too deep.
Yeah, I don't.
If
really
they did. If they don't, they don't.
That was something that you said. Dang, I forgot. But basically, along the lines of you know, in this social media world, right? A lot of us are putting on the front for other people. You know, we have to be in Gucci because we saw them in Gucci. You know, we got to be in Versace because we saw them in Versace. You know, I got to have the latest J's because they got on the latest J's. And it's like, but does that really get you anywhere?
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
Does that, you know, okay, cool. So you want to keep up with the Joneses, right? But what are you doing for yourself to make sure that you're fulfilled at the end of the day? Because a lot of that stuff don't make you feel fulfilled. A lot of that stuff, man, you know, you end up broke. You know what I'm saying? But, hey, whatever it is, you live your life the way that you want to live it. But also understand that you are going to have to make decisions at some point to where you don't care about other people's opinions and you don't care about being laughed at. You know, I feel like in all of our purposes, somebody going to laugh at us.
Yeah,
Or you
at some point.
If
Yeah,
you
for
think
sure.
that I don't think that people laugh at the
that's facts.
videos that I make,
Right.
you got to be crazy.
But they are entertaining, though.
Bro,
We laugh
the
from afar. I love the videos.
the moment I committed
I
to
love
making
the
these
videos.
videos,
Yeah.
the moment I committed to running up on that camera and just yelling out words, I understood. You're gonna get laughed
yeah,
at.
somebody may think I'm crazy out here.
Bro, you don't know how many times I done ran into people and it's all laughs.
Come
It's all
on.
I'm laughing with you. I laugh at
and
myself.
This is what niggas don't know, because I used to
Yeah.
do the run-up videos,
yeah.
right? Not run up, but I used to do them like stationary. I put them on like a brick or some shit and just do a video, which is great. I love that shit. That's like when you in the grind, nigga. Like I hope you never lose that shit because I love it. But what niggas don't know is behind the scenes how many takes we have.
Oh my god.
So how many times you gotta run to that bitch?
Bro, I have
If somebody driving by or parked and watching you, we look crazy.
Oh yeah, for sure. You look
Yeah.
okay. So expect people to laugh at you.
Yeah.
Expect to look crazy, and expect for some people not to rock with you no more because they don't know what the hell you on.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I laugh at myself. I'm gonna say that. It's videos I shoot and I laugh at myself. Sometimes I laugh during the video.
Right.
Like I know this is gonna make people like, you know what? If they, you know what, everything that I talk is impactful. But if they don't do anything else, you gonna laugh at me today.
Yeah.
You're going to laugh at the fact Brock didn't hopped out of his car with the door wide open, or that I hopped out of a trash can, or that I jumped over a wall and scraped my knee
The
to the
homie
white,
be
you know
out
what I'm saying?
here, full
Or,
speed.
you know what I'm saying? Or that I jumped over a wall, scraped my knee to
Yeah,
the white
he post
knee.
that. He post that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he did.
Or that I'm in the middle of the rain boxing up against what you call that thing, a boxing dummy or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm in the rain in a wife beater.
Yeah.
Boxing.
Yeah.
Almost threw up after that video. Don't nobody know either.
Jesus Christ.
Shout out my guy Ruben and Somni
Hey,
Athlete,
can
bro.
we shout him out real
Yeah,
quick?
man,
That's
you
our
got
brother.
to.
That's both
You
of our
got to,
brothers.
man. Shout out
Go
my
ahead, do the
guy,
honors.
man.
Go ahead, give it.
Shout-
Shout him out like he's a
Man,
sponsor
hey,
because
look,
he
man,
is.
Shout out to my guy Ruben at Insomni Athlete. Okay, if you want to get the results, but you are ready to commit yourself to the meal prep, and you ready to commit yourself to showing up to every workout, tap in with Insomni Athlete. He started from his garage, and let me tell you something, man. It started at level 1, it's at level 10, but he ain't done yet. So make sure you tap in with Insomni Athlete, and I guarantee you will not be disappointed. If you're ready to throw up after a workout, then go ahead on and tap in with Insomni Athlete. If you're ready to put the drink down, then go ahead on and tap in with Insomni Athlete. If you're ready to drop 20 pounds, then go ahead and tap in with Insomni Athlete. If you're ready to transition your relationship, then go ahead and tap in with Insomni Athlete. And it's just like that, and you gotta know it. Insomni Athlete. Nah, man, for
Can
real.
we
Shout
all
out my
just clap it
guy.
up for Insomni Athlete real
man.
quick?
Hey, nah,
Jesus Christ.
hey, man. Check this out.
It
You
gotta be a hell of a
man,
company for that
you
shout out. Let's go.
You got to shout out my guy. My
That's
guy's
my brother.
my guy's the ultimate
He's super
hustler.
dope. Super
Ultimate
dope.
hustler. You give him an inch, he's gonna take 15 miles. I'm gonna tell you like that. He's a hustler, man. Shout out to my guy, man. He's been very helpful.
awesome brother.
And yeah, shout out my guy Donnie Bills over there at Metal Ray Athletics. My guy Insomni, I really locked in with him because he lives 15 seconds away from me. You know what I'm saying? And we actually met because I was shooting videos
you
in
do
Planet
live around
Fitness.
the corner from him.
I
That's
live
right.
15
Facts,
seconds from him.
facts.
We met in Planet Fitness when I was shooting the video, and for some reason we stuck together, man, and it's all came full circle with, you know what I'm saying, with everybody, bro. Shout out to Insomni Athlete.
Insomni Athlete, man. Hey, that's what it is. And while we on the topic of shouting out our sponsors, let's yet again shout out where we at real quick. Blue Moon Hookah Lounge. What can I say?
Yes, sir.
The #1 hookah lounge in all of Los Angeles. I'm honored. I'm so fucking honored to be a partner with Blue Moon Hookah Lounge, an official partner. So real quick, if there's anybody out there that's celebrating a birthday coming up, if there's anybody out there that's looking for a good time in Los Angeles, whether you like hip hop, Afrobeat, Latin, dance hall, R&B, I mean, you name it, we got it. We even got house and techno nights every other Thursday. If you like open mics, we got that. If you like karaoke, we got that. If you like movie nights, we got that here at Blue Moon Hookah Lounge. So check us out at bluemoonhookahlounge.com. Again, that's bluemoonhookahlounge.com, and also Blue Moon Hookah Lounge on Instagram as well. And then got to shout out our second sponsor of the day, and you know that is the one and only. That's what we've been smoking on today. That's what we've been smoking on today.
Yes, sir.
That's that good old Blue Moon Meds, man. Shout out to Blue Moon Meds at Blue Moon.Woods, forgive me, Blue Moon.Woods on Instagram. Check them out for all your edibles, pre-rolls, and flour. Real quick, man, I think we are at a space right now, bro, where it's really digestible.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Like I don't know. I just had this vision of like somebody putting this episode out right now with a fire extinguisher.
Yeah, for sure.
It was hot.
Yeah.
We went there.
Straight like that.
It was how it was supposed to be.
Yes, sir.
And this wasn't the same energy the first time I sat with you.
Nah.
It's a whole, it's like Super Saiyan.
Man, it's nothing but growth.
Yeah. Both of us is at a whole different place
That's it.
in life.
Yes, sir.
Our missions, I need to ad lib.
Oh, okay. Okay, go
Our
ahead.
missions
The missions
are clear.
are clear.
We are
We are.
right here.
You better know it.
Unselfish
Yes, sir.
Behavior Podcast.
Straight ass.
It was an honor, man.
Yes, sir.
King Q,
Yeah.
J fucking Brock.
Yes, sir.
Follow my guy again. Make sure you plug in every single thing you got going on with yourself right now.
Yes,
as
sir.
we end this episode. Go ahead and shout out anything you got going on. How do people can follow you? How do people can support you? Make sure they tap all the way in. JBrock.
Okay, look, I'm on a
It's
mission
great.
to get monetized on YouTube, okay? So I need y'all to type in Clap It Up, all one word, Clap It Up, all one word, space LA, and subscribe, okay? Vlog, I'm starting to document, shout out to Black Collar, starting to document a little bit of the things that they got going on. Shout out my boy Cypress Marino. Every time I get around Cypress Marino, big time producer in LA, I make sure I bring the camera out. Actually, after this, I'm supposed to head to a studio session with Cypress Marino and my boy Bill. They making some music for 2022, so I'm gonna go and put my camera out and vlog for that. You can follow me on JBrock. You can follow me on Instagram at JBrockCIU. That's JBrockCIU, and the CIU stands for Clap It Up. If you didn't know, on Instagram. Especially if you want to tune in for whether you want to laugh at the videos I do or if you're trying to be motivated for the day. You can also follow the business Instagram at ClapItUpLA. You can follow me on Twitter at ClapItUpLA. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you tune in because one thing for sure, two things for certain. You feel me? You ain't seen nothing yet, and the best is yet to come.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Clap It Up LA is about to be bigger than what I can even
Already
imagine.
is.
And already is. We're gonna claim that too. And another thing is, man, just manifest. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to use this time to manifest
Please.
too. Making my living in this game. You know what I'm saying? Being the biggest in this game. You know, making sure that I leave an impact. Making sure that my children can make millions off of the decisions and the connections that I make during these days. And making sure that I can actually build up a team. And you already know me and King Q got a whole lot of stuff that we ain't even thought of yet. But it's things that's gonna take place between me and my brother.
That's a fact.
King Q,
That's a
man.
fact.
So, and also, you know what I'm saying, you ain't seen nothing yet with King Q. You know what I'm saying? So make sure y'all stay tuned to Unselfish Behavior Podcast. Make sure you tap in to Clap It Up LA and straight like that. You know what I'm saying? Your boy JBrock, King Q. You know?
Hey, look, man, real quick. That was the dopest outro I've ever heard.
Yes, sir.
You really did your shit.
Oh, yes, sir.
Hey, on that note, man, I love you, bro.
Yeah.
I thank you.
Love you, bro.
Bro,
Yeah.
please keep going.
Off top.
Every word I spoke today, it will manifest.
Yes,
It is
sir.
already done.
Yes, sir.
You are.
Yeah.
Remember this interview. You're going to play it back in one of your clips before you hit a big stadium.
Yes,
You're
sir.
going to play it over the fucking overhead.
Yes, sir.
JBrock, one day on my 3 daughters, bro, on their life, one day you will be the highest paid motivational speaker on the entire fucking planet.
Let's get it.
You mark my words.
Let's go.
Ashe. Now let's get the show started and let's get the show ended. Real quick, man, it's JBrock, it's King Q, it's the Unselfish Behavior Podcast. It's the whole crew in the building. Shout out my boy Jasper, man, for the production. Shout out my guy Danny. Shout out my guy JD Bailey. And you got to shout out my brother Pally Plug. With that being said, it's Unselfish Behavior Podcast. It's King Q. It's JBrock. We out.
You know what it is, Zib on the beat, yeah, legendary, level, yeah. 1, 2, alright. You know where it's at, the level is back, in the tank, and we got the gas. I need the mask, greatest as version.